So even though this question was categorized as easy, I actually think it was a little bit trickier than just a typical easy question. But whenever they give you a scenario and you're trying to determine which possible setup is the correct one, I find it to be beneficial to come up with actual real numbers here. And let's actually reference our Triple T Math document, where we say that we don't look at the answer options right away because they'll only confuse you. However, it can be helpful to look at the answer format. And notice with the answer format for all of these, you have the number of climbers equal to, and then some kind of combination with either an 8 or a 64 and the number of hooks. So what I would do is I would come up with a scenario of, let's say there's 5 climbers. Well, if there's 5 climbers, I know that if each one gets 8 hooks, well, 5 climbers, 8 hooks per climber. I know intuitively I would multiply those, and that would give me the total hooks, right? So total hooks, remember this was my number for climbers, and then this was the number that they gave us where they said that it ended up being 8 hooks per climber. So how would I arrange those 3 in any of these scenarios to get what I want? So if we've determined that 5 in our case is C of H and 8 is the number that we've used for the number of hooks per climber, and they gave that to us, and 40 is the total hooks. Well, here I might do process of elimination. So if I say, okay, there's 5 climbers, if I take my 40 hooks, which is the number we used for H, is 40 divided by 64 somehow going to give me the other number of 8? No, that doesn't make sense. So I'll eliminate that one. For option B, if I have 5 climbers is equal to, and then we already said the number of hooks total was 40. If I divide that by 8, do I get a true statement? Actually, yes, right? So that ends up being the correct answer, but let's compare with the other options. So same thing here, if I said 5 equals 8 times 40, well, that doesn't make sense. I would get 320 on the right side. That's not equal to 5. And then we have for option D, if I plugged in 5 for climbers and I did 64 times 40, well, that's definitely not going to give you 8. So that doesn't make any sense. So in conclusion, our correct answer is B. And when in doubt, just use some numbers that make sense to you, and then you could plug them in and narrow it down from there.